Hello again, everyone. This is Chris Scherr. That's Robert Harding, and this is the Citizen Sports Weekly for April 2nd, 2015. We didn't do it on April 1st because we figured if we did it April 1st, nobody would believe what we're saying. They'd think we were fooling or something.
Unlike the rest of the year.
I know.
Oh.
We're not fools, that's for sure. Mrs. Scherr did not raise her son to be a fool.
I hope she didn't.
No way. So, we're going to talk about some sports topics here. Final Four, baseball's kicking in, but we're going to start off with Chris McCullough. Chris, we barely knew ye.
Yeah, for real.
Going for the riches of the NBA. Dude, all I got to say is, haven't you been following what's been going on to Syracuse players that file early for the draft? Michael Carter-Williams was Rookie of the Year. Give him credit for that. But then he got traded. Then again, the Sixers trade everybody. Okay. Do we have to mention Wes Johnson, Tyler Ennis?
Wes Johnson's a decent NBA player. But he plays for the Lakers.
Right, yeah, okay.
At least as far as I know.
There's so many other examples. Who else do we have?
Jeremy Grant,
yeah. And
Carmelo.
Carmelo's the exception.
Sure.
He's the only exception. And then there's
Craig Forth isn't in the NBA?
Craig Forth's not in the NBA. No, Craig Forth is a nice guy. I think he's a teacher now, actually. I think he majored in education.
Smart.
Nice guy.
Yeah.
But there's one more Syracuse player who I'm thinking of.
Eton Thomas?
No, Eton Thomas was very smart. He graduated. He played all 4 years. No, I'm drawing a blank, and I'm just feeling really stupid here. But the guy who was at the center of the entire scandal we had.
Fab.
Yeah, Fab Melo.
Fab Melo. There we go.
He washed out. So
he's back in Brazil.
Chris, don't be in a hurry. I mean, unless you really need money, and even then, I don't see you being a first-round draft pick. How much are you going to make? I mean, the D-League, man, you're going to be in the D-League next year. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. And plus, you got a bum knee. I mean, this isn't really ideal way to go NBA, man. I mean, although, is it official yet? Did they officially say that he was going?
I believe he has said yes. That he's going to be leaving.
Well,
I saw one report today that said he already hired an agent.
Yeah, well, then that's it then. Although you can hire an agent and then change your mind, you go back to
there is a window.
Yeah, it's not like the NFL or some other sports there. But I mean, look, jokes aside, I hope the kid does well. I don't wish ill will on anybody. If he feels he doesn't want to go to college anymore, he doesn't want to take classes, he wants to get the heck out of there, he wants to make his way as a professional, who are we to deny him that opportunity? It's within his legal rights. So we hope he does well.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think... I've seen some comments from people today who said, you shouldn't question this decision. It's his, all this other stuff. Yeah, that's fine. It is his decision. He does what he wants. But, it's all within the sports world.
Right.
So
things are different.
People can certainly have their say. And and it's not just Chris McCullough. It's, I look at Tyler Ennis, a guy with, tremendous potential. But he decided to leave after 1 year, and look where he is now. Yeah. He's basically a bench warmer. And, whereas, with Syracuse, he would have been the starting point guard. So, to me, it's a situation where it doesn't hurt you to stay in school. A lot of people point to the whole fact of, injuries. Well, Chris McCullough was already injured. And, that happens. It would have happened if he was in the NBA. Happens to everybody. And so... this idea of, making a life-changing decision because of some sort of risk. There's risk in everything you do.
Right.
So...
You get out of bed, it's a risk.
Right.
You get in the car, it's a risk.
Pick up a pencil, that's a risk.
You brush your teeth, it's a risk.
That's right.
You could knock something out. Who knows what's choke on it, whatever. But hey.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else you want to add about?
No, I just, like you said, you wish him well. But
I know, you do.
At the same time, you look at the system that allows this and you say, is this for the best?
Yeah.
And in my opinion, it's not. It's not good for him, because if this basketball thing doesn't work out, what do you have to fall back on?
It's too bad. I'm sorry to interrupt you there. It's too bad if you could have a rule saying, okay, if you want to go out of high school, you go out of high school. If you're that good, if you're Kevin Garnett, if you're Kobe Bryant, and you're that good out of high school, you go. You don't have to play 1 year in college, make believe like, oh yeah, I'm going to college. But if you do go to college, you got to at least stay 3 years.
Yeah.
I think it'd be better for the player, and it'd be better for college basketball. At least 3 years. I think it'd be a great rule. If you're that good, You're going to be told that, and you can go in the NBA from the get-go when you're 18, 19 years old out of high school. But if you're not that good, you go to college, you stay 3 years. Geez, you get a little bit of an education, which can't hurt. You actually develop some skills. In 3 years, you're actually going to be a better basketball player than if you just went for one. And college basketball is a better sport for it.
Yeah.
You know? So.
Well, plus with the idea you propose, having that 3 years, going for 1 year and studying crap, basically.
You don't do anything the second semester. Come on.
And
Come
so,
on.
If you're one of these one and done guys, going back to college later in life, and a lot of people throw that up, oh, they can go back to college whenever they want. Yeah, but then they would have to complete 3 years to get a bachelor's degree.
Yeah. I mean,
at least.
Does their scholarship last?
At
I mean,
least.
I'm curious, like, when you leave, do you give up your scholarship? Does that mean, like, hey, a few years later, I changed my mind, I want to come back, I get to go to school for free again? I don't think it works like that. I'm not 100% sure, but.
I stayed in school for all 4 years, by the way.
I went 4.5.
Wow.
I loved it so much, I had to stick around one more semester. Nah. Alrighty. Our next topic was what? Baseball?
Sure.
Baseball. Crickets. I was talking to John D'Angelo today, a good friend of mine, my stepdad, and he was saying there's no buzz about baseball. And I said it's because the NFL was dominating the conversation. That's why.
Well, you've got the NFL, you got the
In
Final Four,
yeah.
and and the problem with baseball this time of year is, okay, the games are on the schedule, but will they play them?
Right.
There's always snow, there's rain.
Wrigley Field isn't done yet. Wrigley Field looks like.
Wrigley Field's a construction zone.
I mean, it's like, I know, it's like the players are going to wear their batting helmets when they're in the field too.
Yeah.
Seriously, that's how bad it is.
Oh, that's fantastic. And vests, construction vests. It's gonna
fluorescent vests, man. The Cubby uniform's going to have a different look to it. They're going to wear vests, except they're going to be construction vests. There we go. So, there seems to be no buzz about baseball. I don't know what it is. Maybe because the Yankees aren't good. There's no Derek Jeter. Oh, my God. How will the Yankees survive without Derek Jeter? Someone tells me they were wearing pinstripes before Derek Jeter put them on. But there seems to be, there's no buzz. There's no, excitement. Maybe it's because our winter's been so cold and everything, and we just haven't thawed out yet, and it doesn't feel like spring yet. Maybe that's what it is up here, at least. Maybe in different parts of the country where there's actually spring going on, and they can actually see green grass. That our grass is brown right now, what little there is, okay?
The grass that you can see.
I'm still wearing boots, folks, okay? I still got boots on. There's still that much snow on the ground. And mud. That's the other thing, too. There's just no buzz.
Nationals open on Monday, I think.
Yeah. The season opens up on Easter night, Sunday night baseball. If that's how you want to kick off the season on a Sunday night, Thank you, ESPN. But it's just no buzz. I don't know what interest. I mean, like A-Rod, the human wreck that is A-Rod. I mean, if you're a Yankee fan, that's what you have to look forward to. I mean, there's just, the Mets are up and coming a little bit. They've got some, Matt Harvey's back. The Giants aren't going to win again this year because it's an odd number year. It's an odd number year. I'd love to see the Royals. My buddy Steve Boss, the Royals fan. I mean, they had this amazing run. He was thrilled, but they've lost some guys. I don't think they're going to get back to the series this year.
You know who's going to make the series?
Who's going to make the series?
Washington Nationals.
Yeah, well, something. You're right. They should. They got too much pitching
on paper.
On paper, but we know we don't play the games on paper, folks. No,
that's right.
It's just. I don't know. I mean, maybe once they start playing, we'll get into it a little bit. But it's just not interested right now. I mean, maybe we'll have some good stories. Maybe we'll have a great rookie to follow. I don't know. Maybe someone will hit 400 after April.
Oh, boy.
I would be great. I would love to see someone chase 400. I remember when I was a kid back in 1980, George Brett was chasing 400. And I remember I was on family vacation down in Fort Myers, Florida. And every morning I'd get up, go downstairs to the lobby of the hotel, get a copy of the Miami Herald, and read about how George Brett did the night before, and he was hitting over 400. It'd be great. It was amazing. It really, especially in this era, it would be amazing. But tough to do, folks, especially with offense. It's such a premium right now. It's not like we're at with the steroid era being over with now. Offense is definitely going down, really going down. Pitchers are dominating. Which, don't get me wrong, it's great, and these things always go in cycles. The hitting will come back eventually.
Yeah. Aluminum bats, that's the solution.
That's deadly, man. Oh my God, somebody would get killed. Somebody would die. I'm serious. Somebody would get killed. If I was a pitcher, I'd have like a Kevlar uniform on to protect me.
I would request a batting practice now.
I would literally, the only thing you could see would be my eyes. Seriously, I would be so fortified with armor, you'd only see my eyes. I'm serious, man. That's how bad it would be if you let those guys use aluminum bats. So, what else are we going to talk about?
Final Four.
Final Four.
By the way, have you read this IndyStar.com story about Butler? Fantastic.
No, I have not read it.
It's about their first trip to the title game.
Yeah.
Where they came up short.
Against Duke, right?
Against Duke, yeah. And it's worth your time.
I will take a read on it.
Browse on the web,
Yeah.
check it out. It's a good read.
Okay. I picked Wisconsin to win the whole thing. So obviously I have them beating Kentucky this weekend. Probably would like to see history being made. I'd like to see Kentucky go undefeated, but I do have Wisconsin. Although I have no chance of winning any pools or anything like that. I'm out of this one here at the Citizen.
Me too.
So, and then the other game, I mean, Duke and Michigan State. I mean, that's a great game for coaching matchups. That's going to be fun. I mean, Duke should win it, but man, you just don't count out Michigan State this time of year. You know?
Yeah, Michigan State came out of an interesting region. We talked about this before, how you had Villanova, Virginia. Those two teams just didn't instill any sort of fear, you know. And but it was a tough region to predict because, you know, you're like, well, you kind of lean to the lower seeded teams. It's been interesting following their road. And of course, they went up against Louisville, another team with a good tournament history, and beat them. So, hey, anything can happen. Gene Bennett has Michigan State going.
Kentucky, Duke in the final?
That's who I've got.
That's who CBS wants.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, bring out Christian Laettner. I'm telling you, man, Kentucky, Duke, whoo, boy. CBS, ka-ching, ka-ching. I mean, you'd see the dollar signs in their eyes, folks. They Boffo ratings. I think it would be one of the biggest rated NCAA finals, at least the last 25 years, since the Duke UNLV days of the early 90s, pre-internet, basically. I don't think it would get up with the Indiana State-Michigan State final, Bird versus Magic in '79 there, but I'm telling you, man, that would be a huge rating if they could get Duke and Kentucky. So,
you know what? I think the real championship game is Kentucky-Wisconsin. I think both teams.
Oh yeah, I agree with you. Absolutely.
Duke and Michigan State.
Yeah.
Man, Kentucky, of course, long team, tough team, and then Wisconsin. I mean, between Kaminsky, Decker,
they got some good athletes, no doubt about it.
Ryan, good coach.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's a great matchup. There's no dogs here. Okay, there's no like. I see both of these games being close games. I really think they'll both go down to the last minute. I think they'll both be about one or barely two possession games. The title game, I don't know. That we'll see what happens there. But I'm telling you, it's going to be a good weekend for basketball.
Here's the question.
Yes.
Who does America root for in a Kentucky-Duke final?
Boy, that's a good one. I think Kentucky. I think there's so much Duke hatred out there.
I don't know.
I think there's so. First of all,
Calipari's not exactly the most endearing.
But he's not Krzyzewski. He doesn't have the big history that Duke has. I mean, Calipari. You know, he's not exactly left the best trail of good tidings behind him. Memphis State.
Well, he's left a
UMass.
trail.
But
DNA trail.
The Nets. I mean, but. Arguably, you gotta perform. When you get this that program, you gotta perform. He's performing, no doubt about it. So, but I'd like to see history. But if Duke wins the title, I've got no hate with Duke, man. I admire their program. I give Krzyzewski a lot of credit. But some people hate them. It's like the old Georgetown hate. It's not there anymore. It's the Duke hate now. So all right. Anything else you want to add, sir?
I'm all set.
We're all set, folks. Well, hey. If you're of the Christian persuasion, have a happy Easter. If you're of the Jewish persuasion, have a happy Passover. Yes, Passover. If you're neither, or you don't observe any, religions at all, that's okay. We don't judge. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week, folks. Take care.